Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another beautiful day. We are outside once again, and we will be doing a chair workout today, which is a little bit different than some of the other workouts that we've been doing. This may be quite similar to the previous mobility episode that I did, but today's workout will be entirely doable in a chair. And so this is a prop that most people have available at home. And so even if you don't have any other equipment, there are a number of effective exercises that you can do using a chair. So the first thing that I want to do today is to just start with a little breathing. Maybe close your eyes, sit in a nice comfortable position, maybe try and sit up tall. Imagine there's a string running down through the top of your head and down through your spine, and pull that string up and lift the crown of your head. Raise the shoulder blades up a little bit, draw them down and back, and just sit up nice and tall and take some deep breaths. Breathe all the way in and then all the way out. Let's do two more. It's always a good idea to focus on your breath while you are exercising, and so I like to take a few moments at the beginning of my workouts to center myself and become aware of my breath and the sensations of my body as I breathe in and out. And so now that we're a little bit more relaxed for this workout, you may have a bit of a different approach for more high intensity workouts, but as this is going to be more of a mobility and minor strength building program, we don't really need to be too amped up to do this workout, hence the slower breathing. So now we're going to go ahead and get into our first exercise here, and it's going to be a neck stretch. So we're going to stretch our neck in various ways. And so the first exercise that we're going to be doing is maintaining the same posture and bring one hand up and cross to the opposite shoulder and press down slightly as you tilt the chin up and away the other direction. And as you do this, you should feel a nice stretch along the front left side of your neck. Make sure not to stretch too far here at the beginning. And let's continue with that breathing that we just practiced. Maybe after a few breaths, you can increase the stretch a little bit, maybe twist a little more. Good. Lower down. Let's switch to the other side. Same thing. Slightly press down on the chest as we turn up and away. Let's keep a nice upright posture with a flat back. Try not to arch your back at all. If you're arching your back to tilt the head back too much, try and straighten out the back and only tilt the head back, but not arch the back while you do so. Maybe press down with the hand a little bit more if you're not feeling a stretch. Now let's go ahead and move into a side neck stretch here. So if you want, you can bring one hand up and gently place it on the top of your head and just maybe encourage the head to move just a little bit. Don't pull on your head. Just a little encouragement until you feel a nice stretch down. It should be the side of the neck now. Alternatively, you may press down on the shoulder very gently here with the same hand to get a nice stretch down the side of the neck here. Again, try and maintain that upright posture. Try not to lean over too much. Keep a nice upright, straight posture, and then just tilt the head if you can. And then let's do the other side. Same thing, nice and gentle at first. You may feel these are pretty intense stretches. We put a lot of pressure on our neck in our daily lives, especially spending time looking at computers and phones and tablets, and so our neck often gets very tight if we try to stretch it in other directions that it doesn't, in other postures that it's not typically used to being in. Good. Let's breathe, shake it out a little bit. And let's just do some slow neck circles around here. Slowly in one direction. Be careful as you get to the bottom, in the front, in the top, in the back. Those can be sticking points for the neck as we rotate around, so be very gentle on your first couple of rotations to make sure you don't feel any kind of sticking or catching sensations of your vertebrae or your muscles or your tendons up and around your neck area. And let's go other direction. Let's continue that breathing. Be conscious of your breath. Excellent. Let's move on to our next exercise. So the next exercise that we will be doing it's a forward fold, but we're in a seated position. And then we will be going to a slight back extension. So preferably you'll be sitting maybe halfway forward in your chair. And sit up nice and tall, and then we will be folding forward to stretch out the low back as we come forward and just sort of relax down. You should feel a nice stretch in the low back, maybe down into the glutes on the side here, as well as possibly in the shoulders and the neck, and try and just let everything hang down for a moment. And continue to breathe while you're here. Now let's slowly return back up, and then when we get to our top position, let's raise the hands up above the head into the air and arch the back very slightly as we look up and stretch our arms up and out to the sides. And now let's repeat that motion several times. You can go at your own pace here. Just try to make sure that it's a slow and controlled pace. Maybe you reach a little bit higher up into the sky. This time, maybe you reach a little bit farther out to the side. As we come back for another couple of rounds.
Let's go last time through here. Get a good, nice long stretch.
And reach. Arch the back. Lift through the shoulders. And down. So, moving on to our next exercise, we will be in a nice seated posture still. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to be doing a Russian twist modification here. So we're going to be working our core, our abdominals, our obliques as we do a trunk twist from side to side. And gently rotate from one side to the other and try and drive the movement through your core region. So as we go here, hold for a brief 1 second period, 1 to 2 seconds on each side as we twist and hold and twist and hold. You should feel some nice abdominal activation. If you can twist farther around, by all means, twist farther around. You can get some neck involvement in this exercise. Once again, be careful with your neck and your back as you're doing these exercises. Start gradually. Don't try and turn to your maximum distance on the first movement. Ease your way into it, and then as you become more comfortable with your range of motion, you can add a little bit of extra range of motion into the movement. Try to maintain that nice upright posture as you do this. Once again, try not to arch the back as you move through here. A few more. A great modification to this exercise to increase the difficulty of it would be to hold an object while you are completing this exercise. If you have a pillow, if you have a water bottle, if you have a small animal, any of these would do to increase the tension that is placed on the abdominals as you rotate from one side to the other, and also engage more of your postural muscles as you're in a seated position here. So now let's move on to our next exercise, which will be shoulder circles. And so in our same seated upright posture, we will be holding our arms out to the side, and we're just going to do very gentle, small circles out to the side. So we're activating our shoulders, our deltoids, nice three-headed muscle. So you have the anterior, the medial, and the posterior portion of your shoulders. And shoulder circles activate all three portions of the shoulder. As we now move backwards, we're doing our shoulder circles in a slightly backwards movement here. And let's rest for a moment. These are deceptively difficult shoulder circles. They will catch up to you rather quickly if you've never done this exercise before. So maybe we shake it out here for a moment. Shake it out, try and stay a little bit loose. Take a few deep breaths. And then let's do another set here. We'll do small circles, raise it up. You want your arms to be in roughly a T formation, so straight out to the side. You can do higher, you can do lower, but we're aiming for mostly a T posture here. And then let's go backwards, small circles. You're getting some upper back engagement as well. If you draw the belly button in while you're doing this exercise, you can engage the abdominals here. And let's rest. Stretch the neck out a little bit. And we'll do one more round. Let's increase the size of our circles this time. So medium, slightly larger circles. Definitely going to feel the activation on this round. 2 more. And now let's go reverse. 3, 4, 4 more, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Excellent. All right, let's move on to our next exercise. We're still in our same seated position here. We will be moving a little bit out of our chair here in a moment, but for this exercise, we're going to target the back, so the upper back region. And what we will be doing is coming forward maybe a little bit more on the chair and keeping that same flat back posture, but this time we will be leaning forward slightly, and I want you to keep your shoulders back and up, so we're not hunching forward now like we were doing with our forward bend earlier. We're keeping everything nice and in an upright posture, so you're kind of in a greater than or a less than sign here between your quads and your upper body, leaning forward. And we're going to take our arms in kind of a cactus position, if you will, and we're going to reach them up, out above our head, and then down back into sort of a goalpost position, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together in the back. And so this is a kind of a cactus arms pose if you've ever done yoga before, but we're squeezing our shoulder blades together in the back as we try and sort of force our arms backwards. You should feel some engagement in your upper back as you do this move. And we're squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then we're relaxing a little bit as we come back up, sort of as if we're diving into a pool. And then we come back down again, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and relax. We'll do one more round here. I'd like to point out, while you're doing this exercise, or while you're doing really any exercise in general, you want to have a smooth transition between your neck and your upper back. So when you're doing an exercise, you don't want to be, for example, if I'm in my posture here as I come forward, I don't want my chin to dip down towards my chest, because that's going to put a lot of added pressure on my neck. Likewise, I also don't want to tilt my head back as I do these exercises. I want there to be a smooth transition between my upper back and my neck, such that my vision is kind of at a 90-degree angle. My head is just in a nice locked-in position, and I'm at a nice 90-degree angle, kind of looking straight down in front of me, 90 degrees relative to the angle of my back. And so no matter which position I'm in here, I'm always looking 90 degrees relative to the position of my back. So let's do one more round of our upper back exercises here. So again, we're leaning forward, arms are coming up into a cactus goalpost orientation here, and we are pressing up as if we're diving, and engage the shoulders down, and then squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back. And let's try that a few more times here. So squeeze the shoulder blades and relax, squeeze the shoulder blades, relax, and squeeze and relax. All right, let's go diver. So let's chain those movements now. So diver, and then we're squeezing, relax. Let's dive in front of us, and down, squeeze, and one more, dive, and back, and squeeze, and relax. Let's move on to the next exercise. And for this one, we're actually going to be getting up out of our chair for the first time for this exercise. And we're going to be using our chair to do a plank. So there's several variations that you can do for this exercise. But the first one is just a high plank. I've chosen to use a padded chair. If you want, if you have chairs that don't have pads on them, it may be a little bit more comfortable to use a pillow. But I have a padded chair here, and I'm going to start with a high plank. You also want to make sure that your chair is not on any sort of a slippery surface
as you do this exercise because the chair may slide out from under you, so be careful about that. But here, we're doing a high plank, and this is the same as if I were doing a high plank on the ground, except it's a slightly easier variation because I'm at a higher angle than I would be if I was on the ground. So let me expand on that a little bit. If I'm doing a plank and I'm in the same position and I'm here leaning up against a wall, I'm only supporting about 10% of my weight. So it's a very easy move to do a high plank along a wall, for example. A chair plank, we're reducing the angle, and so as a result of various principles of physics, I'm supporting more of my weight, but I'm not supporting all of it as if I was to do a plank on the flat ground. And so this is a great way to train yourself how to do planks as we keep our core nice and drawn up and in while we do this plank. And again, I have that nice smooth transition between my upper back and my neck. So I'm looking kind of out about a foot in front of my hands, and my belly is drawn up and in, and I'm engaging my legs, and my body should be in roughly a straight line from head to toe here. An alternative is that you can do a low plank, an elbow plank, maybe easier on the wrists here as well as the upper body. And so this is another alternative that you can do for this plank position. As we hold here. Keep breathing throughout this. Let's hold 10 more seconds. Three, two, one, and relax. Excellent. So there's two different variations that you can do on a plank. So let's move on to another exercise. We're going to do tricep dips, or just a tricep hold, if that's what you're capable of. But either way, we'll be working our triceps. And so traditionally, a full tricep dip would be to rest your hands kind of on a bench or on the chair behind you as close into your hips as you can. And we're going to come forward off the chair as we support ourselves with our arms and our shoulders and our triceps. And a tricep dip would be to lower yourself down and then press back up. Now this can be a difficult move to execute. And so if you feel that you don't think that you can lower yourself down and press yourself back up, simply hold yourself in this position off the chair, and this will activate and engage the triceps. And then you can rest for a few moments. But if we come off the chair and we simply hold ourselves here, this is called an isometric exercise, where my tricep muscle is engaged, but it's neither contracting nor is it extending. It's just staying engaged in one position. It's a very similar principle to what we did with the plank, where when you're doing a plank, you're not contracting and you're not extending a muscle, but your whole body is tensed up in the case of a plank. When we're doing this exercise here, a tricep hold, my triceps are engaged to stabilize and support my upper body, but they're not moving through a range of motion. That's okay. They're still being worked. If, however, you can do the full tricep dip variation, try and keep your back flat and move it in a straight plane up and down as you come up and down and do your tricep dips. Let's move on. We are going to do two more exercises. So we're back to our plank position here. We're going to do some nice, easy mountain climbers. So we're not going to intensely be running as we do our mountain climbers. We're just going to raise one knee up to the chest for a few seconds and then put it back down. As we do a few more repetitions here of our mountain climbers, this time let's bring the knee in for 5 seconds and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1, and other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do 2 more and hold. And switch sides. And rest. All right, one more exercise for this workout. We're going to do a chair squat. And so this is a great way to do a lower body squat exercise without having to worry about balance, without having to worry about falling over backwards, because we have the aid of a chair. And so the way this exercise works is we'll position ourselves as if we're going to do a full squat. So feet are hip width apart, and everything is in a nice stacked posture, upright position. And we'll, of course, verify that our chair is in fact behind us. And all we will do is squat down just enough to touch the chair. So squat just to touch the chair and then stand back up again. And when we get to the top, let's remember to squeeze our glutes together. So we're going for what's called a posterior pelvic tilt, or trying to tuck the tailbone under. So as you come to the top of the rep, you're not arching your back at all, but you're squeezing the glutes to engage the glutes and the hip region. So let's try that now with our chair. As we come down, touch, come up, squeeze the glutes, and down and up, squeeze, and we'll do about 20 here. So let's keep a nice, even tempo. Push up through the heels. Keep the chest nice and elevated. Don't lean forward too far as you do this. Focus on the glute squeeze at the top. Good, let's go 10 more. This is a great way to train your body to have proper posture and make use of the proper muscles in your posterior chain all the way down the back side of your body without having to worry about going to full squat depth or fall over backwards. Let's do 3 more. Good squeeze on the glutes. 2 more. And last one. Excellent. That will wrap up our chair workout. As you can see, there are a number of different exercises that you can do with no equipment. We basically had just a chair today, and so if you find yourself sitting at a desk or just around the house, a chair is a great way to assist with some exercises that may otherwise be a little bit difficult. It's a great way to ease into different postures and an all-around effective way to work out, although not necessarily one that many people would consider when they're thinking about exercising. So thank you so much for participating today. My name is Justin, and I am a trainer at the Chico State Rec Center, and I hope everybody has a good day. Let's go Wildcats!